Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. Today I'm gonna go back to working on my Druchii commission characters. This one is a warrior, his name is Fiat Obsidian, and last week I got all the base colors put down. So today I'm going to start with shading. Since it's such a detailed character, I don't know if I'll get completely done with that today. But we'll just work on it and see what happens. Gonna start at the bottom, this base layer, skin layer, zoom in. Ooh, I almost forgot. So I'm using Photoshop, but I need to turn on Lazy Nezumi Pro because it smooths the lines out so that it feels like you're using physical media. So let's see, smoothing subtle, and let's just make it. Usually automatically starts working with Photoshop, but I'm going to double check for sure. Okay. And it is currently on. I missed that one time that it got turned off. And the whole time I was like, why isn't it working as well as usual? So I'm going to take this skin color and then we'll make a darker shade. This is something that I like for Photoshop more than manga studios, that you can compare the two colors, the current color versus the color you're choosing. You can just see it right there. So I don't have to do a test swipe in order to see if I like how the shadow color looks. So it's just one of those things. It's just back and forth with Photoshop and Manga Studio. If only we could put the two together, then it would be the ultimate drawing program for me. So now I'm going to make a new layer and call it shadow shading and group it. I don't remember what Photoshop calls it now. It used to be called grouping the layers. That's what it was when I first learned of the ability. And they changed it, and so whatever, I still call it grouping. Let's see. Start right here. The helmet will be casting a lot of shadow because the helmet can't be too close to the skin. There's got to be a bit of room. You know what? Now that I'm coloring, I think that I need to fix the helmet color. Where is it? Silver. Yep. There's a couple areas where it looks like I can see the skin. Yeah, like right here. I'm going to make the brush smaller. Right here. Yep. I don't want to see the skin in the helmet area. How's that? Any other little stray spots I missed? I think I got them all now. Okay. Back to this color. Back to shading layer. And here we go. Oops, bigger brush. Okay, here we go. And his eyebrows are so far down, his whole eye ought to be in shadow. They're just so serious. These eyes are so serious. And these cheek guards probably casting some shadow. Plus his face needs to be. Let's see, what else? What else? Do these. Now these are the dark elf characters of Warhammer. So I don't want to get too grungy, I don't think. I'm not an expert, but usually dark elves are meant to be just as lovely as light elves, but just like evil. Now, let's see. Sort of. No, Kibi. Kibi wants in my lap. I'm busy. Kibi, I'm busy. I'm wondering if I should choose... Right now the way I've done the shading makes it look like the highlights are coming straight on, the light source is coming straight down like this. But it's usually more interesting if it's coming from the side so that you get like some really deep shade on one side or the other. Just considering whether I should do that or whether I should keep it straight on. Kind of liking the... I think I'm gonna keep it. Although, yeah, I think I'm gonna open. Let's see. Where is it? Art. Art. Projects. Commissions. Druchii group. Now I've completed one other of this group. So maybe I should make the light source match whatever I did for this guy. Hey, it looks like I kind of did the same thing. Sort of a general, like as if there's a diffused light coming from everywhere. Okay, I'll just continue the way I'm going. Seems like this will match. I don't want these shadows on the face. They've got a lot of hard angles right now. Right here. But the face isn't flat, so they need to be smooth. Smooth out the corners. I might even add so much more shading later that you can't even see the corners. Like I was thinking maybe I should just fill in the whole eyebrow area. Let me see how that looks. Yeah. Because before, not filling it in, having this light area above brings weird attention to above the eyebrows, and there's like nothing interesting there. But having these underneath the eyes brings attention to the eyes, and of course the eyes is where everybody likes to look. On a face, especially an anime face where everything else is super simplified. Anime style face. I'm gonna make this brush a bit smaller. Round, 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 round. Round this one a little more too. its nose guard, casting a shadow straight down. So because of this, because I've got the light coming down, his upper lip should be casting a shadow too. How's that? I think it's looking good. Oh, so for this scar, I want to put a little bit of shadow to give the feeling that the scar is an indentation in the skin. So it's not going to be totally smooth. I want to give it, make it look like the skin's just kind of messed up here. It's uneven. This is the only skin that's showing. That's actually part of his character description. Oh yeah, I need to turn my notes layer on, because I don't want to forget about these things that I need to do. And I'm not sure if I should just save them for the end or if I should do them as I'm doing shading. Might be easier to save them for the end, but we'll see. I just want to make sure that that's still on though. Now. Ah, no. Now, I need a even darker color. Do a second round of shading. Definitely around his eyes needs to be much darker. In fact, the whole under eyebrow area, much darker. And I'll bring it down a little bit into these under eye areas. What else? Maybe a little right here, right here. Oops, I don't like how that curves. I'm going to, yeah, I like that. And maybe at the lip, right here, and some here too. How's that? Zoom out and see. Yeah. Like that. Now, I'm going to do a highlight layer. Highlighting, group it, and let's see, copy the lightest color and make an even lighter color. Since these are dark elves, so they're all serious and everything, I don't want to get too, what's the word? If I use a lot of highlight or blush like I normally do, I think it will affect the character appearance, the interpretation of what the attitude of the character is meant to be. I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to be really light with the highlighting. Okay. It's like normally I do a lot of maybe more what you'd call cutesy highlighting or something like that, and put lots of blush around the eyes and everything. But these are like serious, well, most of them. One of them is like a happy guy. But most of them are all dark and serious, and it just doesn't go with their personalities to do that. Maybe I'll do a little highlight on the scar too. Just a little bit. So it really stands out. Ah, why are you doing that? I think that's probably enough. Just a little bit to make it look more 3D, have more depth. Okay. Now I do still want to do some blush. I don't want to do a ton, but I want to do some. Because I really like it, that just makes the skin come to life. It looks more, not exactly realistic, but yeah, it just breathes some life into it. So I think I'll take this highlight color and just move it into the reds. See what this is like. Maybe I'll make it a little more pigmented than that. And we will need a soft brush, a large soft brush. And I like to just, oh God, no. I like to add it around the eyes, but oh, that was too much. That was too bright. And maybe made it a little more blood colored might be better. I also don't want it to clash. So let's also make the opacity lower. And let's make the brush bigger. So I can just go like whoosh. Oh, I don't want it on the top. Maybe I'll just erase that because it looks pretty good. I think I like that, so I'm just going to take the eraser and erase it from the top part. And maybe from here on this side too. Yeah, completely from the top. Yeah, that actually kind of, let's do it at an angle. There. Zoom out, see what that looks like. Yeah. Just adds that. Just adds something to the skin. Just makes it look more alive. I think skin's good. So next layer is the eye whites and the scar. Since these are really simple color patches and pretty small areas, I'm just going to block the pixels instead of making a new layer. First I'll work on the scar. I want to get a darker color, but I also want to make it a little more red. Just a bit. Zoom in. I'm going to remember to fix my brush on hard brush. Oh, I'm on eraser. Haha. Hard brush. Smaller brush. Okay. Ah, that's not dark enough. Make it darker. I'm going to do a little bit inside of the scar too, just to give it a little texture. Something. And do a little bit darker. Especially here, where there's shadow being cast on other parts of the skin. Maybe some here. Go back to that. Oops. Wait, yes. Oh goodness, that's why it didn't seem dark enough. I left the opacity down. Let's see what this looks like now. It's pretty good actually. Okay. Pretty much covered up my darker color, so I'm just going to make a new darker color. There, I think that's good. Textured, messed up, scarred area of the face. Now, take the eye white color, which I never do truly white. I always like to do slightly blue. Now we'll just go straight down because I don't want to get too colorful. So I don't want to go into more pigment on that side. I just want to go a little darker for shadow. Well, that's not going to be enough. I'll start with that though. Yeah, I'll just leave a little sliver of white, of the lightest light color. And now an even darker color. I think that doing the shadow from the eyebrows or the eyelids overhanging the eyes just it really makes eyes look great if you include that. I think I can even go even darker right on the top. Oops, I did too much. There. I think that's good. Next is the irises. Again, really simple shape and tiny area. So let's do this. Make the color darker. That doesn't look dark enough. I'm going to zoom in even more because these are just so small. I'm going to add in colored pupils. Probably go over this again because it definitely needs to be the darkest part of the iris. Pull that in. Whoop. And I'm going to match the shadow that's coming down from the eyebrow. Match it with the shadows on the white part of the eye. Time for yet another darker color. Actually, no, I'm going to make the brush tiny. Do a little tiny dark outline here. Yeah, I love doing that. I think it looks great. Okay, now super even darker color. And in fact, let's make it a different shade of blue too, because eyes usually have several different shades in them, not just one. And it just looks so much more interesting if you do that. If you add multiple shades. It doesn't even have to be the same color. You could add, people with hazel eyes have browns and yellows and greens. But this guy's eyes are blue, so I'm going to just stick with blues. I'm just going to do hatching now, not fill this in, because I want the pupil to start standing out. I'm going to add a little bit coming down into this brighter color so it stands out even more. Ooh, I'm liking it. So now I think I'll do one more shade darker. Let's do the pupil some more. It really stands out. Pupil, pupil, pupil. Pupil. Pupil? Yes, good. Now, do a bit of highlight in this little area that I've saved. And change the actual hue a bit. And go lighter. In fact, I want to go really light. Because that just looks awesome. The light shining off of the color of the iris right here. These look so cool. And I mean in like real photos of people's eyes. I love it. I'm fascinated. Yay, that looks good. Okay, I need to remember to save. Take a second to save here. Yep, his face is looking really good. Next, hair. Now it is a smaller, kind of small area, but I'm gonna do the extra layer for the shading and highlighting, because with hair I like to do little strokes shading, so that makes it more complicated. Group the layers together, and let's zoom in a bit. And the eyebrows are part of the hair, so I think I'll just start with them. Ooh, I don't need 200%. Okay. Select that color and select a darker shade. And make the brush bigger. So I'm going to start with doing a solid line. And then I'll add in some hair-like strokes for texture. Maybe shade here a bit. Here. Like the helmet is casting a shadow on the eyebrows too. Actually looks pretty good, and I think I'm gonna use this color all over before I go to a darker color. And it looks like I missed a spot here on the hair. Okay, I'm gonna go back on the hair layer. Fix this real quick. I missed a little spot right here. There. Oh, looks like I missed a spot on the armor too. There's my armor layer. Yeah. Okay, I'll copy the armor color as well. And fix this little spot. Get filled in. Oh, dang, I missed a lot of spots. Well, that's probably because I was like sitting on the floor the whole time I was working on this last time. It was pretty rough. Probably have to go back and fix a bunch of spots, so I'm not going to do that right now. I'm focusing on the hair. Back to the shading layer, back to my dark color. First, just like the eyebrows, I'm going to do a bigger section of dark. Now I will start adding smaller strokes. I really think it's thanks to Nezumi, Lazy Nezumi Pro, that I'm able to get these like smooth lines like this. It's just been so much easier to do digital coloring, digital inking, digital everything ever since I found the program. I'm really happy with it. Sometimes I forget to turn it on. It has an auto setting. I turned it off for some reason and I forgot to turn it back on. You can set it so that anytime you open Photoshop, Nezumi Pro will automatically turn on too. I think I was testing settings or something. Okay, now I'm going to add a little more shading for where this bump of curl, this wave comes down. So since the lighting's coming from above, it'll be a little darker right here. And same thing with this bump. And here too, a little bit of extra. And same deal here. Let's add some extra shade lines. That's good for that color, but let's go even darker. His hair is meant to be black, so gotta get enough shadow in there to really get that across. Oops. There we go. I wanted to do some in the eyebrows. Some dark shade here in the eyebrows. Give this texture to the bottom part as well. Ooh, yeah, it makes his eyebrows look really good. It's such a small little part, but I'm happy with it. Okay. And we'll add some detail lines here, extra shading lines here, so that doesn't look totally boring compared to the rest. With all the rest nice lines. Bring that all the way out. And then a few dark, deep lines even over here. Make it look even more like hair. Same thing here. It's dark shadows here. Bring it all the way over. There, there, yeah. Oops, no, I don't like how that one. I don't like how that one went. Okay. Okay, I think that's good. Now let's do well, actually, let me zoom out to be sure, but I'm pretty sure it's good. Yep, that looks like black hair now, even though it's actually just a bunch of dark grays. New layer. Highlighting. So the same thing with the face. I'm not going to do as extreme highlightings as I would if I was doing some other character. Since this is a dark elf, super serious guy, I don't want him to look too shiny, because that just doesn't fit with his personality or his character type. That might be too bright. Let's look at that. Let's see. Now, I'm not going to do any highlighting on his eyebrows. That'll be too much. Just a little bit on his hair. Yeah, just a tiny little bit to give dimension to his hair. That's the biggest reason to add highlights to this guy. There, yep, that's it for the hair. Zoom all the way out just to have a good look, but yeah. It'll look even different too when the whole thing's put together with a dark background. Yeah, see, with the darker background, the highlights stand out even more. And all of these characters are going to end up on dark backgrounds. Now, next, let's see, we've got hair done. Next is the cloak. The light color of the cloak, which is... maybe I should turn off armor layer. Okay. So it's those two sections up on his shoulders. And then the light color of the cloak goes down. Let me see. Okay. Well, this is a huge area, so I'm definitely going to do its own layer for shading. Group it, select the color, and then I want to be able to compare it. Is that dark enough? Okay. I think that's dark enough for the first layer of shading. I think for most of this I am going to do 2 layers of shading just like I did on the skin. Now let's zoom in here. With a larger brush than that. Actually, I think I'm going to make that all shaded right there. Looks like I missed a little spot right there. Okay. little shadow cast by this button. This part goes over it, so I won't do a shadow there. Maybe I will bring this shadow up higher. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Boop. Get rid of that. Nah, I don't like that. It's too big. It's too big of a shadow. Maybe a little like that. No, I don't like it. Like it down further like that. And actually, I think I'm gonna do a little shadow in here. Uh-oh. What is this? Is the armor? The armor has a section going out over this. No good, no good. There. That must have been that part that I filled in. Should have filled it in on the other layer. Well, now it's fixed. Back to the shading layer. Okay, Kiba keeps purring gently at me, asking to get in my lap, so I put him in my lap, and hopefully I can keep working. And he won't mess me up. He's doing a lot better than he was after his first day in this new temporary living space that we're in right now. But he's still he still needs a lot of comforting. He never slept with us like the way he is now. Like he's like a little baby and has to sleep between us every night, and if he can't get in, then he'll just meow, meow, meow all night long. If he can't get in under the blankets, like right now, I think he doesn't know what to do with himself. He doesn't feel like there's any space for him or something. I don't know. But we're looking for a house to move into. Hopefully we'll find one soon. Then he can start getting used to a new place that he'll live in, maybe even for the rest of his life. That would be good, because we want him to have a nice, easy, comfortable life. I don't know if you can hear his jingling collar, but he wants me to pet him, so I'm petting him. I'm petting him with one hand. I'm trying to draw with the other hand. I'm looking at this shadow. I don't know if I should put anything here. Or this is one of those instances where if I was working from a reference image, this would be so much easier to figure out what to do with the shading. So I gotta admit, it feels kind of flat right now. I feel like there's something else I ought to do to it. Maybe this face guard on his armor. No, Kibi, don't step on my keyboard. Maybe it's casting a shadow. I'll make it so that it's casting a shadow. Maybe that will make me feel better about this. This shading. How's that? Maybe around this a bit more, because this is supposed to be a big round folded over bit of cloth. Feel better about that. Maybe if I do this part the same as the other side. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Okay, I'm gonna do a few hatching lines. I think maybe, okay, I'm gonna do a smaller brush. Just do a few hatching lines to make it look like the shadow's kind of fading. do think I like that better. Okay, let's move on. So that upper collar area where the cloak is attached is done. Now I've got the rest of this cloak, and I think what I need to do is zoom way out and use a huge brush, because most of this is his back. Like, his own body is going to be casting a whole lot of shadow on this cloak down here, so maybe only the edges would even have a lot of light hitting it. Maybe the bottom, because of reflected light coming from below. I think maybe Kibi thinks that I'm talking to him. He's still in my lap, and he keeps looking up at me. It's like he's wondering what the heck I'm saying to him. Okay, I'm gonna fill that whole thing in, and then what I'm gonna do is erase. Erase to show that undercolor. But I'll be selective about it. Now this is like a, I think it was called a sea dragon cloak, so I imagine it's made out of like dragon skin or something, so it's gonna be like leathery, which means it'll be really thick material. So I want to make these highlighted parts look really thick. So make a thick line. Dang, I missed a lot. Missed a lot here. I need to go back down to this layer. And I think this is the color. Fill this. Ah, no! I'm on eraser still. Cloak light. Okay, let's fill this in a bit. Fill you in a bit. Dang, I should have looked this over with the white background turned on. I guess I didn't. Well, let's look it over now. Yep, there's. This is just too big. Still little spots here and there. Fill those in. Here too. Anywhere else? Right here. And under here. I mean, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but I do like to get it as close as possible. Just the more effort you put into it, the better it looks in the end. All these little details come together, and even though someone looking at it and not having seen it being created might not notice these little things, it still overall affects what the piece looks like. Okay, I feel confident moving on with my erasing. Oops, need to put it on the eraser though. Still want these to look nice and thick like they're leather. And we'll do a little bit underneath to look like reflected light. And I'm going to do it kind of uneven here in this area because it's supposed to be all torn apart and ragged. This one here. Do a little, follow those hatching line right there. Do a little highlight there too. Same here. Do a little hatching. I love hatching. It's just so great. It's such a nice addition to regular cell shading. How's that? Maybe this little curve here would be catching some light in the bottom. And zoom out. With Kibi in my lap, his hairs keep getting on my screen. He's really enjoying it right here though. Just happily sitting there. Okay. Let's see what the overall effect is. Okay, ready to move on to the darker color. Secondary shadow color. Start back up at the collar. It will definitely be darker. Ah, no, it's eraser. No. There will definitely be darker shadow here, cast by this cauldron. And I think I'll do a little hatching here too. And I like to bring the darker shade a little bit higher into the normal color too. It's a way to make it not look like everything is super like cubular. Sometimes when I do cell shading and I do a darker color, it just looks makes the character look square or something. It doesn't look right. Whoops, went a little too far with that stroke. Let's see what this looks like if I do a big stroke right here on each one. Let's see what that looks like. Ooh, I like it. Yeah, that looks nice. I don't know how to describe that. I don't think I want to overdo it, so I'm going to leave it like that. Now, what I want to do is add some shadow here where these two different pieces of fabric meet. And then I also thought it would look, zoomed way out. Thought it would look nice to add something right here. I'm not sure if it should be shading or actually it should be highlighting. I'll try shading first and see what I think. I was thinking of just doing some big hatching lines. No, I don't like that actually. Let's see. Where's my undo button? This? Yep. See if it can undo that far. Yay! I'm going to lock the layer so that I don't color outside of this shadow color. I think I'm just going to fill this in with darker. And then maybe if I do the hatching here as it gets closer to the outside corner, maybe that's what I was looking for. I don't think that's quite right. Maybe if I just fill in that whole area underneath. Oh, maybe if I go bigger. It's like I'm getting there. I'm starting to get the look that I'm aiming for. Okay, maybe if I take this color and do some lines going onto here. Ooh, yeah. Just needed to do hatching all along the whole thing. Okay, then maybe I'm also going to erase a bit, just a bit. I think that works well for the tattered look of the cloak too. The only thing is, I think I need an even darker color for right here. Yep, let's stick with that. I don't think I'm going to do any highlighting on it. Since it's supposed to be tattered, it wouldn't be very shiny. No, so the next layer is the dark cloak layer. So it's in between these two arms, and it's also down here. So make a new layer. Shading. Group it. And since this is so far in, I might just end up making it really dark. think I might just fill it in because it is the same color as this fabric for his gloves and his underclothes, clothes beneath his armor. So I need to make it look different. I need to get the cloak to fade into the background. Let's pull another darker color. Yeah, right here, not very much chance for light to come in. So maybe I'll go down and then I'll start doing this. Hatching like the other layer so that it looks like the same sort of design or texture. Still want it to be a lot darker because it's further in than the edge. So less light has a chance of hitting it. I'm going to do a save real quick. So much work getting that cloak to look nice. Don't want to lose it. Don't want to lose it for some reason. Okay, there we go. Now an even darker color. Darker, darker, darker. It's just going to get all colored in. Lots of shading on this layer. Just really want to make sure that it goes lots darker than any other area on this character that has the same color as a base. I think that's good though. This is looking really deep in shadow compared to the rest now. It was originally the same color as her, like right here on the arm. That's pretty good. So now I'm going to move on to the fabric layer, which is his glove. All those little attachment pieces on his arms, his elbow, and on his knees. And I will do a new layer for this one. Kiwi has laid down now and it's hard to get my keyboard out. Okay. Shading. Group it. Now we're going to go back to let's see. I won't select the same shadow colors as I did for the cloak, and then that's why they will look even more different from each other. Because I only used 2 colors of blue for his whole armor, so I want to make sure that none of these pieces get confused with one another about what they are in relation to one another. So let's see. Probably the shadow on the arm will come down like this. So inside of the arm will be in shadow. Underneath here will probably mostly be in shadow here. And all the way under here. And indeed, this is the inside of the arm as well. So mostly in shadow. That part. These should be in shadow. Because there's gonna be shadow coming from everywhere, from each other leg, from this thing here, from the kneecaps, the armor. This is just gonna be really dark right there. Oh, but I didn't do the glove yet. Cancel. Hand is complicated, so I need to zoom in. Oh, I see more parts that I missed on the armor. Oh, parts that I missed on this part too. Dang it. I missed so many parts. Okay, let's fix that first. It's right along here. Okay, I better do a double check. The glove looks good. Okay, didn't really miss too much. Just that one little section. Make sure I'm back on the shading layer. Get my shading color back. And zoom in even more on the glove. Let's do 100%. So I've got the light. Ooh, I did miss a little part. It's right there, tiny one. I missed so many parts. That's frustrating. Alright, let's go back to the fabric layer. Gotta fix this. Bugs me too much. There. Okay, that's good. Shading color, let's go. Thumb guard. We'll be casting a shadow. Since the light is coming from in front of the character and straight down. Draw this wrinkle in the glove as some shadow. And the thumb itself will be casting a shadow on the fingers, on at least this one finger here. And the fingers are kind of rounded, so they get shadows here. And the thumb's still casting a little shadow on this one. Here I think the upper finger casting a little shadow on this next finger, and here too. Just like with the face, I want to make sure the shadows don't get too hard. I don't want any hard points or angles. Since the gloves are... Oh, no you don't, Evie. He's getting down off of me, but he wanted to get on my computer. He likes to sit on my PC tower. He's like, oh, it's so warm. And I'm like, yeah, because you're on it. Get off, get off. But actually, most of the time I let him, I let him get on it. It's just too cute. I can't stop him. Okay, this whole under part will be in shadow, and the fingers will be sticking out farther than this part of the hand. So this whole thing needs to be shaded. How's that? Maybe a little something here. And round this point off a bit. And this one. Not too sharp. Because the gloves are probably made out of some leather material. So that'll be thick and round too. Okay, I'm going to zoom out. See how that looks. Okay. Next, shadow color. Move down from this one a bit. In fact, I'm going to make it a little darker than that. I don't want to do as many colors as I did for the shadow for the dark part of the cloak. Oh, you know what? No, I wanted to do a little bit more on these. And go back to that. And to make these look like thick pieces of leather too. At least in these areas where I didn't completely cover it in this shadow color. Like this little rivet will be casting a shadow. On this side, I think. Yep, same deal here. Give the rivet its own little shadow. Nice little detail. There. Okay, now I feel confident. Moving on to the next color. Is that dark enough? Okay. Now here at the arm, this piece of armor will be casting a shadow. The inside of the arm will be pretty shaded. But we'll have a little reflected light on this side of the arm. Not even reflected light, it's just because it's on the outside of the body won't be casting a shadow on this side of the arm. That's more what it is. This thing. Some strips of fabric holding this together. I want to do this side. Rivet shadow. And there's not really much to do right here. Just do a tiny little bit. Now the knees. I think the only light getting in might be like this. Some little triangle between where the two pieces of armor, maybe reflected light from each leg. This armor reflecting on here, this armor reflecting on here. Something like that. Let's just blunt the tips a bit. Now the glove. Back to the glove. This part of the hand will probably be pretty dark. It's got all the fingers and the staff and everything. Now just between the fingers, I'm going to do a little darker. Right here where this finger is tucked in under the thumb and even under the other finger. Maybe do this trick. See what that looks like. See if I like it. I might not like it. I'm gonna keep it, but this index finger looks kind of flat. I'm gonna round it a bit. How does that look? Okay. Alright, now I'm going to do a highlight layer for this. There's not much that needs highlighting on this fabric, but I think the glove could use a little bit. New layer, group it, zoom in, and let's copy this color. Pick a nice bright color. Since I'm figuring this is kind of leathery material, I don't want it to be too bright. Leather doesn't have that great of a shine to it, even like polished leather. So I was thinking just maybe like right here. I think that's too bright still. Let's make it a bit darker than that. Maybe just... Ooh, yeah, I like that, but I want to do it like... no. No. I'll go back to the hatching I was doing at first. No, that makes it look rubbery. What do I want? That? No. Maybe like that. Ooh, getting there. And maybe what I want is just like something like that. I just want like a... Ooh, yeah, that's it. I just want one stripe. Yay. And maybe one here and right there. this hand is way out in the open. There's nothing really casting a shadow on it. Nothing big. So it definitely needs some highlights. I don't think I'll do highlights anywhere else on this layer though. Let's do a save. It's taking so long to save because there's just so much information in this file. This is a huge, like just the dimensions are huge. You can see it's like 4,000, maybe 4,500 pixels wide and over 6,000 pixels tall. Huge. Alright, now the biggest layer of them all, the armor layer. But I definitely saw a bunch of areas where I missed filling in properly. I don't need to be this close. So I'm going to just do a quick look over it and try to catch all those areas before I even start on the shading. Maybe right here in the foot. Oh, all along this calf. Excuse me. I'm gonna sneeze. Whew, I feel another one coming on. And hold it back. Oh, guess not. Getting there. Almost done. Almost done filling these edges in. I've got to remember to switch back and forth between my dark gray background and my white background. Because I'm sure I missed these because I used my dark gray background almost exclusively when I was filling in the colors. It's just lighter colors. If they're too close to white, then you can't tell that you missed a spot on a white background. But apparently these colors on a dark background is the same deal. Okay, new layer. Shading. Group it. And let's pick a shadow color. Even though the armor and the lighter color of the cloak are the same, I'm going to do just as I did with the fabric and the darker color of the cloak and just pick all new shadow colors so that it looks different enough. This is such a big area to color. I might start at the bottom. Start at the bottom and work my way up. Let's get a bigger brush. Definitely the shoes here being shadow. Oops, too much. That would come up here. And maybe even right here, where the upper part of the foot arches. Then the shield is casting a huge shadow probably. So I'm just gonna go like this. Cover the whole thing in shadow from the shield. Let's do on this side too. Ah, spot I missed. Ah, it's so small. I'm just gonna leave it. Well, even though this armor is hard, made of hard metal, I'm still gonna round some of the edges because, for instance, over the top of the foot, it just has to be rounded because that's how a foot is. It wouldn't fit if it wasn't rounded. So the shadow needs to be rounded too. Oops, I erased too much. I'm going to put a little bit of that back. Just a little bit. Alright, how's that looking? Zoom out, see what I think. No, I think the shield will be casting it. I think the shield's going to be covering the whole thing. This shield is going to be held out with his arm. And yeah. The tip is like way down here. So I think this is much better for where the shadow falls. Oops. No, don't do that. Okay, I gotta go all the way up there. Now, it's even gonna be casting a shadow on this part of the armor, so I may as well get that in there now. So this is a huge shield. The shield does have a curve to it. So I think that's good. Let's go back down to the other leg. So without a shield casting shadow, maybe the shadow would be like this. And then of course this thing. Just crotch guard. Casting a shadow on the leg armor. And even this kneecap thing is gonna be casting a shadow. Just do like that. And maybe it wouldn't be this much, this top part. Just like the foot, the leg armor needs to have a curve because it's curving around the leg in order to fit on the leg. Smooth this out. Okay, I need to zoom in some now so we can get these lines smooth, smooth, smooth. And clean these lines up. Oh, that must be... What is that? I think that's a spot I missed on the armor layer. It's a little white spot. Yep, there. It was bugging me, like, why isn't this getting filled in? Figured it out. Let's see, there's probably a shadow here. And the lower leg armor. And even right here. Just from the... Maybe not this big though. Smaller, smaller, smaller. Fill that back in. And the front of the foot. Round it. And maybe do like that. Maybe a bigger one. What's that? I think I need to zoom out and use a bigger brush. Oops. Okay, let's zoom out and see what that looks like. I don't think I like that. Okay, I just won't do a shadow there. It's making it look too flat. Whew. I think I might have to take a break soon. I haven't finished the armor, but it's starting to all blend together to me and get really hard to pay attention to what I'm working on. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it quits here today. Work on it again tomorrow. Fresh. Probably can get... I might even be able to get the whole thing done tomorrow. Definitely get the armor done tomorrow. But this will be all for today. I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for watching.